This is Elliot Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us here on CCW TV, the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. Did a bunch of reviews, got a little mini rant in there, a lot of different things going on. Just to bring you folks up to speed, if you haven't been checking out the blog, we have already resolved a couple of the CCW TV Nation Awards. The Golden Lobe Award went to Dark Reign, the Dark Reign event from Marvel Comics.
No contest. No
contest. It was between the voting. Ultimately, came down to Dark Reign, Battle for the Cowl, and the Old Man Logan mini. I really thought that that Battle for the Cowl would have done a little better, but I think because it resolved itself so long ago.
Yeah, it's only 3 issues.
Yeah, it was only 3 issues. It resolved itself quite some time ago, and people had just such a positive outlook after the new Batman books. You know, Battle for the Cowl is like a bad dream that you want to forget. Old Man Logan, on the other hand, really resolved itself much more recently, unfortunately.
It took forever to come out, though, too.
And yet, I don't think it raised as much fanboy ire, because someone made a very good point on the blog. Dark Reign, whereas Battle for the Cowl and Old Man Logan were just mini-series, Dark Reign was like that event where you felt like you had to buy everything with a Dark Reign logo on it. In fact, one of our more clever commenters called it Dark Strain, as in a strain on the wallet. So, Dark Reign won the Golden Lobe. We will be sending that. I think it should go to Joe Quesada, right? The Golden Lobe should be sent to Joe Quesada?
Yeah. Because
he did the whole event. So, I'll be sending...
But it was probably Brian Mendes' brainchild, so...
Yeah, but I mean, who do you...
They can share it.
Who... Yeah, okay. But, you know, we'll send it to Joe Quesada, and he can divvy it up and give whoever wants to have it on their shelf, whatever. Maybe they can do, like, an Oscar, where they, like, from time to time, they switch off as to who gets to keep it. Yeah. And then the winner of the CCW TV Create a Contest was General Dark, whose suggestion was to create your own DC Comics event.
No, just a comics event.
Yeah, I'm sorry, your own comics event. Didn't have to be DC Comics, could have been Marvel Comics.
Freudian slip.
Freudian, I guess.
DC
make it a Dark Horse event if you want. Make it an Image Comics event if you want.
Make it a Valiant Comics.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear what's been going on with Valiant? Yeah, Valiant, Jim Shooter, yet again. He just can't keep his name out of the papers, out of the news. The winner of the CCW Nation Best Writer of 2009.
They wrapped up?
Jeff Johns.
No, that was no surprise.
No surprise. Going away. So, congrats, Jeff. I don't know who we're going to send his award to. We'll just send it to DC, and they can make sure he gets it. But we will hold off on the other announcements, namely Best Artist, Best Monthly, and Best Miniseries, as well as Best Publisher of 2009. If you want to see those, you'll have to check out the blog.
Well, let's talk about... Well, you want to talk about that first?
I said, what was this thing? You guys mentioned this on the blog. Speaking of the blog, somebody wanted to nominate this for the Golden Lobe of 2010. It's called Siege, Storming Asgard, Heroes and Villains. And, of course, whenever someone mentions the traced Greg Land cover, you know, I, of course, am intrigued. So, you know, Jose put this here just as he said this to fuck with me. And I'm like, okay. I was expecting kind of like some little anthology-type stories. And, you know, for $3.99, you would think it would be, right?
You would think.
It's like a handbook of the Marvel
Wiki
Universe
padding.
thing. It's wiki padding.
The entire issue of wiki padding.
I mean, first, here's the thing that kills me. You're giving me info on... Because I know nothing about these characters. I know nothing about the Submariner. You know, give me info on him. Make sure you tell me what Thor. Who is this Thor fella? What does he do? I've never heard of him. This one's my favorite right here, and this shows you. Oh, interesting. Marvel Boy is now called Protector. You know, after the whole Dark Avengers
even know that.
reboot of the character. And Wolverine? Who's this guy? This blue-skinned fella. That's Wolverine? Doesn't look like Wolverine to me.
He is in the Dark Avengers.
I know he's in the Dark Avengers.
Smart.
Wait, no, here we go. Wait. Wait for it. Wait for it. Hey, look! Iron Man is some guy in in bed.
That's the Iron Man I've grown to know and love.
What? Why is it? What? Why do they call him Iron Man? There's nothing. Does he have a higher iron content in his bloodstream?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. And then just because they are so mighty and so great, the Mighty Avengers, with your favorite, Koi Fan.
Yeah.
Koi Fan.
The best part though was that there was 2 covers.
There were.
Can you tell the difference?
You're right.
Can you really tell the difference?
Ah.
Yeah.
The girl, female Loki and male Loki.
Worst cover variant ever. Jesus Christ, man. What a fucking joke.
You know,
and
it's $3.99.
It's $3.99. Stupid little variant like this. Wiki padding for $4. It's like Marvel just begs for us to sling shit at them every week.
You know what? Make this book $1.99.
Give it away for free.
Or give it, yeah.
God damn.
I know, but it's
enough about that though. Let's talk about DC's retaliation to Brevoort's Twitter pictures of all the books that people were sending back.
Hey, Tom Brevoort actually responded to one of my tweets.
Oh.
He had tweeted about he had gone into a comic shop and said, wow, Jeff Johns has a lot of stuff out this week, including the Avengers hardcover. He made a comment that, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. There's an Avengers hardcover that has Jeff Johns in big letters over there, big letters. And I responded quite facetiously, ha 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 ha. That was my tweet. That I was laughing hysterically and I was wiping tears from my eyes and I said, Tom, you slay me. And that was my tweet. That was it. He responded, I don't know what you find I don't see what's so funny, but I'm glad you find me amusing. And that was it. I'm like, dude, you only tweeted about one thing. The guy tweets like every once in a while, and that was really the only thing he could have tweeted about. So I don't know what he's thinking. In either case, I'll give Tom Brevoort this. Since the tweet picture of all the books being brought in and stuff like that, he's really calmed down on the rhetoric. He really has.
What? That came out like a full. He's still doing it though. He did it a full week after that when everyone was bullshit like.
No, well, yeah, it was for a week after that when he was following up. But since then, I mean, he didn't.
Did you see the picture of the list of one of the retailers?
Right.
All right, I'm sorry, but if someone's sending you 300 comics, okay, 300 separate covers, and they're listing it out, and like they had only sent back like 12 copies of Rebels, 126 copies of JLA. All right, I'm sorry, but if you're a retailer and you get stuck with that, you're a fucking idiot. Because seriously, who orders that much shit and can't sell it? How are you still in business?
Because the minimums to get the rings, you did not have to order 200.
No, you didn't. You had to order 25.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that. Those and many folks on our blog mentioned this. Those were the retailers, like you said.
Yeah, who probably sold the rings and made their money back,
and then didn't know what to do with the books. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
So he's sending back 300 books, and it's just like, man, that's $600 cost. $600 cost, and he's getting 6 variants.
Six
for
variants.
$600.
That's 12. Like something like. It's just ridiculous, and people had commented on that picture too, saying that seemed pretty ridiculous, and the vendor did not look terribly bright by doing that.
But then I like the vendors
make
that'll
mine
make mine Marvel.
Yeah.
No, it's like, oh, really?
Well, the vendor was I'm sorry. You're kind of you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You don't know how to handle it. You didn't know how to handle it. But what is DC doing now with their next promotion now? Yet another ring promotion for getting
only
Flash #1 and Green Lantern
whatever 53.
53.
They're coming out in April.
Yeah. There's going to be a White Lantern ring. I know they showed the Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
They showed the Green Lantern ring. But the word is it's going to be the White Lantern ring.
Well, don't go reporting that it's a White Lantern ring. I know. That's what we're going to get to in a second.
Yeah. And then the Flash ring, which looks really cool. And you only have to order 10 to be able to order the rings.
Yeah.
So it's about seriously dropping the order requirements.
Because DC heard a lot of the complaints where you had to order 25, and some people were like, well, DC should have made it like for every one book that you get, you can order one ring. Well, now they're doing it. You only have to order 10 to start ordering the rings, and I think it's from 10 up. However many you order past 10, you get one ring for each one of those books. So you order 10, you get 10 rings. You order 11, they'll send you another one for that 11th one, and so on and so forth. So they're actually listened to the complaints that the retailers had.
No, but here's what's going to happen. A lot of retailers are going to bitch now that they're not going to have enough rings to cover all their orders. How much you want to bet that? How much you want to bet? Because now they're not going to be able to turn around and sell that ring. Because now if they follow the promotion like they're supposed to, which is you buy the book, you get the ring as a premium for it.
Right. And they sent you, we talked about this. You order 25 of the Black Knight books, they send you 50 rings. So you actually had 25 extra rings. But now you're only getting 1 for 1, which, well, screw over all those fuckers who sold the rings without selling the books.
And you know what? And these rings are probably going to be harder to find now. Because once those books are gone, if a retailer does it right, once those books are gone, those rings are gone.
Yep.
So, I'm waiting to hear the hue and cry from retailers then, too. Because the way the initial Blackest Night promotion... Okay, I'll admit, I'm not a retailer, but I don't think that ordering 25 of a particular book to be able to get 50 rings is really, especially when it's part of a big event, is really that much to ask. For some, you're maybe ordering...
Well, you're not a retailer. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's going to be a comment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 10 more, let's say some people had said, well, if you only order 5, what are you going to do with the other 20? Well, the whole purpose of the promotion was to get people to buy that book, get that book, because you order you offer them the little Cracker Jack prize or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Leave it to some comic book retailers to screw up even the best ideas.
And I
say some, not all.
Right, some. Now, if you go into a comic shop in April, and if your store is selling the Flash rings, know this, that you are stealing away a Flash ring from somebody who is actually buying the Flash by buying that ring.
Exactly.
And that promotion is not working at all.
Right. So if someone is selling the rings without the book...
You're essentially kind of stealing it away from a person who would really want the ring, who bought the book.
Who should be getting the ring.
Should be getting the
because
ring.
they are doing what the promotion asked of them.
Right.
So, it's the old, okay, do it the way it should be. Again, you're going to hear bitching and moaning about that, too.
And now to go back to what you were saying about the Green Lantern ring maybe being the white ring. The Green Lantern ring was offered in the Black Knight promotion. You got it with Blackest Night number 5. Mm-hmm. That one was actually the one ring that we're completely out of because everyone buys Blackest Night.
Yeah.
So that's the one. So I understand why DC would be resoliciting it because that's the one ring, and it's a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah.
Those things will never go out of style.
Right. But it's like the newer mold of the Green Lantern ring. There has been a previous mold of it, too.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can understand why, a lot of people are like, well, the Green Lantern ring was already solicited. But you know what? Stores would still kind of like to have the Green Lantern ring, and I can see. Right. But rumor is that it's not going to be the Green Lantern ring. It's going to be the white ring, which we have talked about in the last issue of Blackest Night, which leads into the promotion of Brightest Day. So it will probably be a white ring. But we have to report that that the green ring is what you're supposed to be ordering.
Right.
But they could switch it, and I don't think retailers are really going to complain. It's a brand new ring.
Yeah. So there are things about the comic industry right now and I think it speaks somewhat to the maturity or lack of maturity, not of the customer base, okay? I got into it actually on Tom Brevoort's Facebook page. Gail Simone basically told Tom Brevoort that he was being kind of classless in his commentary. And Tom Brevoort, I think, hardly ever looks at his Facebook page. Gail Simone was having a kind of a discussion, not with Tom Brevoort, but with two other people who visit Brevoort's page, who were really just, they were kind of like going after Gail and defending what Brevoort was saying, and doing the whole thing. And I was like, I'm reading
so
this.
A little henchman on there?
I don't know. And she was essentially doing kind of what Kurt Busiek did on that
the Robot 6
the Robot 6 bit.
Right.
Until the point till Gail said, you know what, I'm just bowing out. I'm not gonna, you know what, I didn't write any of the Blackest Night books. This has nothing to do with me. All she did, she said to Brevoort, she says, you know what, shouldn't you be a little more respectful to the creators that have made Marvel
a lot of
money in the past?
Money in the past, right.
Like Jeff Johns, who right now they have a hardcover collection of his Avengers run out now. You know, kind of ironic. So, you know, that's all she was saying. And these other, you know, Marvel comic fanboys just jumped on her. I'm really amazed. I'm really amazed that you have...
Are you really?
Yeah. I'm really amazed that I can see someone taking issue with me. Because I'm not, you know, I don't play for either of the big boys. But when you get some guys who... And I actually ended up commenting too. And then I started having it out with one of those commenters on Tom Brevoort's page. And I asked them flat out. I said, look, have you ever written a book for DC or Marvel? Did you write a Blackest Night book? Do you think that if Marvel tried getting your book pulled off the shelf, do you think you'd have a problem with it? You know? I just find it amazing that, going back to the issue of the maturity, that people, just for the very sake that they believe in Marvel, they will defend anything. It's almost like Marvel Comics.
Well, that's why they call them Marvel zombies.
Really? Well, you know what? It's almost like I want to call them zealots, because it's like a religion. Now, for those of you who might have taken shit about the last series of segments that I did with the Superman hoodie, because, you know, that was like a subliminal thing that I was ranting on Marvel and wearing a DC thing. Look, I've got my Spider-Man shirt on today, just so you know, I'll represent Marvel. I love Marvel Comics, okay? But you can still, you know, they say you can be Catholic but still have a problem with your own parish, okay? You can still take issue with your own religion. And some people treat their comics and their loyalty to their companies like a religion.
Well, in Locust Morris, who wrote that column for us on our blog about Marvel suing the Kirby family, he wrote a column on it. He sent me this. He sent me an email the other day about this whole Brevoort throwing Brubaker under the bus. Right. And I'm like, why don't you write a column about that? Because you actually know a lot about it. You've read Hitch's interviews. And he's like, well, that's a good idea. I will. I think people are going to start thinking that I'm hating Marvel. And then I wrote back to him. I'm like, you know what, though? People can say that, but and he told me this, and we've talked about this in the past, that he was a huge Marvel fan for 22 years. He loves Marvel Comics. And just until, like, the last year, now he's only buying, like, 2 or 3 Marvel books, and he's buying the rest DC and Independence. Mm-hmm. The reason why he's so angry about this, which is the exact same reason that I'm angry about this, is that I love Marvel Comics. When I got into comics, Marvel Comics, that's all I bought were Marvel Comics when I was a kid. And I love Marvel Comics. To see what they have become in the industry sickens me. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes me angry. It's because I want to love Marvel. I love their characters. They're the reason I'm in comics. They're the reason I became a fan of comics, and the reason why I've been in retailing for over 17 years is because of Marvel Comics. Mm-hmm. No, that's why we get so angry about the shit that they do, is because they're better than this. They've been better than this, and they will at some point be better than what they are today. But what they're doing right now is despicable, it's classless, and they really need to move on, and they need to start making the industry better for everybody.
Agreed. And you look at us, and again, Jose and I get really passionate, and again, all this commentary about, well, they're just comics. Why is everyone getting so upset, and so on? Okay. It is just comics, and...
But when you make your living doing...
But not only that, but no, you're right. Yes, you do make your living in it, and let's get it right. We're not talking about universal health care. I made that comment on the channel like last week. Okay, which is fine. Listen to sports radio, and listen to what people say about their local sports teams and how incredibly passionate they get about that. Right now in Chicago, people are going apeshit over what's happening with the Chicago Bears. Apeshit. The Cubs, once the baseball season starts, the Cub fans, they're gonna go between ecstasy and wanting to jump off of the ledge, and killing themselves in the streets because of what the Cubs do. And that's just sports, okay? Mm-hmm. That's just sports. Talk radio, even the pundits that you see on television that talk about politics and social issues and all those things. That's just talk. So while we do acknowledge that what we talk about here is not the most earth-shaking and socially relevant thing in the world, it is something that I believe we are entitled to have our passions about. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't just disregard them. That a company like Marvel Comics, who is dependent on the goodwill of its clientele, of its fan base, zealotry only takes you so far. And you can only have so many zealots. And after a while, when you start, culling away all the casual fans and the people who love Marvel and the people who love, who get the T-shirts, and the folks who are like Locust Morris, who have loved those characters for so long, but feel like they just can't take it anymore. You know what that leaves you with? It leaves you with a dead company. It leaves you with a dead medium. And comic books right now needs to open up and lighten up and understand that what they are doing. Let's put aside the whole issue of the stories and what happens with the characters, and oh my God, they retconned Peter Parker and MJ's marriage and all that stuff. We've said this in the past. This is crash commercialism. And the people who we want to support, the artists, are not being given the appropriate chance to...
Not that cover artist, though. Fuck that.
They're not allowed to be artists. They're right now being asked to be money-making machines. There has to be an art to comic books. There has to be an artistry to it. And I'm sorry, right now when you look at what Marvel Comics does with their books, it lacks the artistry. It lacks the passion. I listen to all these reports from the Marvel retreats and all this stuff, and they're talking about all these great ideas that they're going to have and all these great things that they're going to do. And, man, I wish I could be at one of those retreats so I can get just as animated and into what they're doing. But it seems that between the ideas that they come up with and the actual execution, something gets lost. And then it all becomes about variant covers and wiki padding and putting out all the books in the same month so that every other competitor's book is choked out. Ideas need a room to breathe. Ideas should be able to be out in the world and compete with each other. If Marvel would just put their ideas out there to be judged on the same playing field as everyone else's, you know what? We wouldn't rant nearly as much about them, because then we could discuss the books themselves and the ideas themselves. But right now, it pains me to say, Marvel really muddies the waters when it comes to that. With everything else that they do, it's hard for me to judge just the idea behind the story. It's really, really tough. And that, again, the passion that you have, I have the same passion too. I joke about it all the time. I'm never going to write for Marvel. But it would be nice. Please? Joe? I'll buy you a cup of Joe. I don't know. If you're a Marvel zealot, be ready to be in a very small and exclusive club. because soon those people around you who are willing to entertain other ideas, the ideas that help Marvel Comics expand and be open to everyone, they're going to be gone. And soon, you know what? It's just going to be you and your comics. And it'll be, unfortunately, a pretty small
And maybe
world.
we'll even have those when, Kirby's state gets a hold of all those characters and you won't have any Fantastic Four anymore.
Anything, yeah.
It'd be awesome. You'll be left with nothing but Century comics.
Nothing but Century. And Brian Bendis writing it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And you know what? And that really sucked the way DC treated Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster. That really sucked, I'm telling you. Mind you, it was like 30 years ago, but that did suck. That did suck.
Yeah.
Fucking DC. You and your past of abusing artists, and I know you've done a lot to make it up to them, but still, damn it. I'm dying to see what the comments on this is going to be.
I'm just dying to get out of here. You done yet?
I'm done.
All right.
There's no Green Lantern ring in here. As always, we look forward to your comments, your feedback. Check out the CCW TV blog, where by now we will have announced the winner of the CCW Nation Awards for Best Artist, Comic Book Miniseries, and Publisher. And thank you to that dozen or so folks who actually voted for Ash Saves Obama as the best miniseries. I know it didn't really stand a chance, but it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice to be recognized.
Yeah, right now the Publisher of the Year is really a no contest. But I did like that somebody stuck up for their passions and voted for Radical.
Radical, yeah. That was a Radical. I think that was Rick Remender.
Either way, they got to vote.
They got to vote.
Got one more vote than a lot of other people.
A lot of other votes. That's true. I would have thought Boom Studios would have made a better showing.
I thought so too.
Yeah. Come on, Chip.
Yeah, Chip should be getting the word out.
Getting the
people
word out.
To vote on there.
Yeah. All right, folks. So, until next time, this has been Elliot Serrano and Jose Melendez coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.